The big news, Nigel Wray stepping down at Saracens.
Yeah,
and
70
Ed
odd.
Griffiths is back as interim chief executive.
Yeah.
What have you guys made of all that?
What do you make of this, James?
Mate, I've said my piece on it. It's old news to me now. Mate, I'm hashtag always Edinburgh.
Oh, so you've jumped ship again.
No, I haven't jumped ship.
So
I've just moved on. I've given my complete points on it. And I tweeted about it and said,
What did you say?
I said visionary and a top bloke, Nigel Wray. That's my opinion. And it was all this that's going on now. There's always going to be a fallout. There was always going to be more things that unfold, and they are unfolding now.
But you said it's done and dusted the other week. You were like, just put it to bed, mate. It's old news.
But everything is done and dusted in terms of the points deduction and the fine.
Oh, yeah, but it's not old news, though, is it, James?
What? The one thing that I did like, and that I saw over New Year, in defence of the people against Sarries, was a comment that Rob Baxter said that it's a shame that the people that have gone against Sarries and made themselves known and been noisy about it, Rob Baxter being one, obviously Tony Rowe being another, if we're talking about Exeter, but there's been a load of other people. I still don't think that Danny Kay and Chris Robshaw should be speaking about stuff, but again, it's their prerogative. So Rob Baxter made a good point and said that it shouldn't be the people that are shouting about it, about Saracens being in the wrong.
Why are you pointing at me?
I don't know. That should be the ones that are being
Chastised?
chastised. Yes,
Use
sir.
that word, James.
Yes, sir. That are being chastised. Whatever the hell that means, but it sounds bloody good. And he was right. You know, so as more time to reflect, as I say, I'm not bothered about the whole situation.
Oh, no, you've got your house. You're fine.
Doesn't affect me, mate.
No, you've got your house. And you're out of the game now.
Exactly, mate. So, and there's still stuff going on. I'm sure Goodey's going to get into it because he wants to avoid what's going on at Wasps. So he'll probably talk more about this. He's got big news. He tweeted about it over the weekend. Big news coming out of Sarries.
Did I say big news?
Yeah, what is it? What is it, Goodey?
Did I say big news? Or
Yeah.
did I
Where's
say...
this big news coming from, mate?
I said I'm hearing it's going to be an interesting week at Saracens with Ed Griffiths' first week in charge. Watch this space. I didn't say big news.
But if you're saying watch this space,
Yeah.
it's probably going to be something big.
Well, it is pretty big because... and I'll congratulate Ed Griffiths, actually, on one thing. He's come in as the new CEO, interim CEO for a year, and the first thing he's done, and I think he's been prodded a little bit to do it by other people, but he's apologised. The only person and the very first person to apologise for Saracens cheating on the salary cap for 3 years.
And that made you feel good.
No, but it's actually someone putting their hands up and saying, we are responsible, I'm sorry, we've done wrong, and we will try and fix it, which is what clubs, that's why there's so much animosity, because, and I've got a lot of respect for Nigel Wray, and I did a piece on Rugby Pass, and I tried to be quite balanced about it.
I found it quite bizarre.
What, the piece?
A little bit.
Why?
Just because of how hard you've gone at Sarries. But I thought your piece was balanced. I thought it was very good.
Yeah,
So,
I've gone hard at but I've been pretty constant about the salary cap for
you have.
3 years of doing this podcast. It's, everyone's known about it, but not many people would have said things. And as you know, James, as the book you bought me at Christmas, which I still haven't had actually. You got the book with you?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, it's in my bag.
I'll say what I think, and I've been saying for years that they're clearly breaking the salary cap. So I've said it, and I did the piece on Rugby Pass and tried to be balanced about Nigel Wray because he's done a huge amount for rugby, and we've said this before, and it's a shame to see him step down, but ultimately, what they've done for 3 years is cheat, and they've cost. The game itself is not in a financial crisis, but it's it's at a tipping point right now where there's a lot of clubs losing a lot of money, and a lot of that is driven up by the wages, which have spiralled up over the last 3-4 years, which a lot of that has been to do with Saracens, and because they've been able to work the way they've worked by cheating in the salary cap, other clubs are then trying to spend to catch up with them, and it's blown the market wide open. And now you've seen today, Ed Griffiths has come out and made a statement on Rugby Pass that says they're having conversations with senior players about either reducing their wages or letting players go, because they actually now want to fit in with what every other club is buying into, the salary cap. And it's good to see that eventually someone's putting their hands up. And you look at Nigel Wray, and all I'm saying is, from the day that they got the announcement of the 35-point deduction and the £5.4 million fine, the next day he does a video saying, we're shocked, we can't believe this is happening. It's investment, it's not wages. We haven't broken the salary cap. And then they said noises of it wasn't deliberately breaking the salary cap. That hasn't come out anywhere else except from Saracens. And to then that carries on. They don't appeal it and they hold their hands up. To now, actually, Ed Griffiths is putting his hand up and saying, we're cheated. We're sorry.
Has he said that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Has he said those words?
He hasn't said they cheated, but...
Well, there you go.
He said they've broken the salary cap.
I've not read that.
Well, they have.
I read the Rugby Pass piece, and I don't see him saying, quote unquote, we've broke the salary cap.
He's basically said sorry for doing it the other day, and then he said the first step is that after being found guilty and receiving an unprecedented fine and points reduction, we have to demonstrate unequivocally that we are operating within the salary cap in the current season. We have to do that without any ifs or buts, or on two levels, on the spreadsheet with a calculator, and also deal with the perception issue. We need to address the perception. We are not operating on a level playing field in the coming days. We need to recognise that we are partners with the other Premiership clubs, and we are not adversaries. We are all shareholders in the same business, and the ultimate goal is a commercially viable league, and we are absolutely support a vigorously applied salary cap. So he's the first person to admit that they've been cheating, and
I don't. He's not admitted that.
he has, mate, in his statements. I mean,
I've not read that. No,
Jim,
no.
you are.
Because
If you're saying that what he's saying isn't an admission of guilt, then you've got your Saracens tinted spectacles on and you're blind to it, or you're deluded. I can't work out which
I've
one.
got my Saracens testicles on, mate.
But yeah, they've admitted it now that, and they've accepted it, and they've got to change. So the rumours and there's meetings going on today apparently with senior players. Ed Griffiths, from what I hear, he's trying to move players around to other clubs to try and show themselves within the salary cap.
So the big thing for me, and I think it's worth asking, is where are you getting that information?
I've got sources in the game, James.
But that's.
I don't have to reveal my sources, but it's a fact. He's actually said it.
So where
he said it in on Rugby Pass today as well.
No, he has said it. Yeah. I've seen that. He said that he's going to be talking to players.
Yeah.
And they need to. Yeah, I think
reduce wages or players leave.
I think that's the crux of it, isn't it?
Which I believe I said this quite a few weeks ago. But hey, I don't want to say I told you so, Jim, but I told you so.
Okay.
How do you think Nigel Wray will be remembered now?
Like Jim said, a visionary and someone that's done a lot of good, but ultimately, and there's two different types of people. Some people have got short memories, so will only remember the last part of his tenure, and that could be the success, all the trophies, or that could be, if you're not a Saracens fan, the cheating around the salary cap. So you've got to have a balanced view. He's taken the game, and people, you can come up with all sorts of arguments that all the England players in the Saracens squad at the minute is great. The visionary at the start brought in a load of world stars, Tim Horan, Castagnette, Abdel Benazzi, all these players that other clubs started to follow. And English rugby has improved a hell of a lot because of the impact that he's had. But he's also, the negative side of it, people, like Rob Baxter said, there's people who have lost jobs, there's coaches that have lost their jobs, there's other people around clubs because they're trying to compete with Saracens. And ultimately, you're seeing, we said it on here before, you see other clubs lose players. Carl Sinclair supposedly is going to Bristol because Harlequins can't fit him in within their budgets. Never happens at Saracens. And that's the crux of it. Some people will remember the short term, just the medals and the trophies. Other people will remember the failure of complying to a salary cap, and other people will try and have a balanced view of everything that he's done for the game. That's what I've tried to do. I have no axe to grind. Like I said in my piece, he let me stay at his house, but he also was the chairman when my contract got when my contract got terminated by mutual consent at Saracens.
Do you think the English game is worse off for him leaving it now, or
I think the game's in a good place. Again, the finances, and me and Goody have spoken about that. Rugby isn't a game that makes money. It just doesn't. Rugby isn't a game that makes money
At the minute.
Okay, and I think it's going to be a long, long way. And we spoke about it last week, and we'll get onto it.
Have you got? So he's lost his appetite. Is that what you're saying?
What do you mean? Well, I'm sure he has now. Yeah, I'm sure he has lost his appetite. I'm sure he has. I imagine this has taken a huge toll on him because, again, we're going over old ground. I don't think there's any malice. I think that he's found a loophole that they've obviously optimised, and people are pissed off about it. And the way that Nigel was perceived before, because of what he's done for the game, but also what he's like as a bloke, a human being. Anyone who's had any interactions with him, not just rugby, charity being a big thing. And yes, it's, you know, charity is good when you've got loads of money, but you don't have to give it away. Nigel gives it away to the Matt Hampson Foundation, loads of other charities. So there's a generosity there that he's done, how he's changed people's lives away from rugby. But it's time now to move on. Now's a good time because of what's happened, but also his age. And I was at Sarries a couple of years ago as an ambassador. Lucy Wray, his daughter, was taking the reins anyway. So it's a shame that it's ended like this. I think the dust will settle. Like Goodey said, you know, Rob Baxter has said that people have lost their jobs. There's money now been passed to the clubs. You know, Extra have given a bit of money to charity or whatever.
They've given it all to charity, I think. Extra.
I don't know what more. I don't know what more we can say about it.
What about Griffiths?
But the questions on it are: listen, he's been brilliant for the game, but also he's tarnished it towards the end. And now, what you say is Saracens have to now comply. So what Griffiths is saying, the noises he's making are the right noises. You know, they're going to have to offload players. It doesn't take someone that's not been taught by Mrs. Good at maths, Jim, to work out that you can't have the squad you've got for the last 3 years, improve it this year, and still be under the salary cap. And that's the animosity there against Saracens and certain people is because of the statements they've been making in the press and the rhetoric they've been trying to get out there is completely false.